Peace, YouTube land. This is Rotino again, coming as one to bring forth a very interesting subject. And the subject we're going to be dealing with today are men who either have the inability or don't wish to properly please their woman sexually. We could do trust me, we could do one on the other one, but right now sexually, because there's been a situation that's been brought to my attention by Tito, which I'm very shocked, and I want Tito to tell all of y'all about this situation first before we go into this thing, because this is going to start it off to give you the basis of why we're saying what we're saying.
Basically, it's like this. I got this. I only have two best friends. One is on the radio with me, and
Radio 2, whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the other one is in D.C. Good friend of mine for a long, long time. Love him like a brother. But we had talked one night about maybe 2 months ago. He was telling me about this sister. Because, I'll ask him about a sister and like, okay, well, why did they break up? Why did you break up? And why did it blow up this time?
Mm-hmm. Who threw the grenade first?
Yeah.
Because this cat here, the thing is about him, he has a history for being interested and being uninterested the next moment, I think he's an alien from a planet that's not really here to experience what a relationship is. Long-wise, he's just here to see what he can do in a relationship and then go back to his planet and report about all the pussy he done been in. But anyway, keep going.
He called me up and everything, or, I had talked to him and everything, and he was telling me, like, okay, I said, what about that chick that you were with last time we talked? He's like, oh, about that. And you probably gonna laugh at me when I say this. I'm like,
dude, you said chick?
Yeah.
Dude, don't say chick.
That's
a derogatory word. That could be the chicken head.
That's what the dude said.
Okay, alright, keep going.
I had to, word for word. Let's keep it real.
Okay.
Alright, but, he was like, what had happened was,
what had happened was...
Nah, little kid be lying.
Yeah.
What happened?
What the hell you do? Well, what had happened was...
Yeah.
I wasn't doing this. I was just standing there, and all of a sudden... But anyway, keep going.
He basically explained it to me and said, she took my hand and put it down there. And I was like, down there?
Man, get to the story. Get the story what we talking about, man.
In a weird way, and kept working, and all of a sudden, all this stuff came out. I was like, oh, so he made a squirt. Yeah, it just messed with my head, and I couldn't deal with it.
For those of you in YouTube land, not to interrupt, squirting is female ejaculation. And yes, for all of you ignorant individuals out there that thought it was impossible, it is possible, and I'll explain why later. Keep going.
Okay, so I'm like, that's why. I mean, sister was basically, everything was all lovely, and then all of a sudden this happened, and then you lose it. You're like, yeah. I'm like, well, you know what? Can't mess with it, but if that's the way you feel, trust me, you missing out.
I couldn't have that conversation with his ass. Number one, I couldn't have that conversation with him, especially if I was in front of his face, because I would have been stomping him in the throat. Now, this example of this real situation just shows, number one, the inability of some men to think that it's not even about the woman. When it comes to sexual pleasure. It ain't even about her, it's about him. And number one, two is the inability of some men to not allow themselves to truly explore the woman that they're with. Okay? Yeah. Now, we have to realize that, number one, a lot of the bullshit that we've been taught about sex, of course, we trace everything back to the past, especially during slavery and when religion was coming about in certain lands and stuff like this. And in certain lands, it was like this. The woman was there to be your helpmeet and for you, pretty much she was your mother whore, your jump off.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't never been about her pleasure or this and that. Well, within the last couple of thousand years, so it ain't been nothing about her pleasure.
No.
However, if you go back deep into antiquity, you will find in places of China, India, um, Kemet, well, Egypt for those uninformed, that they would have actually different sexual practices that will be along the lines of meditation and yoga that was actually used to bring both sexual partners to the highest level of sexual ecstasy through, you know, different positions, different breathing techniques while performing these positions, and different stuff like that that would allow both people to be balanced. Now, brothers, we have to understand this. It don't take too much to please us.
Not really.
Because our sexual organ is outside of our body. It don't take too much. The wind can blow a certain way with a little bit of spit. We skeeting everywhere. Whereas with a woman, it's a little bit more complex. And it's not because women are just stupid or well, they highly emotional, this and that. No. It's about the fact that a woman's, I guess you could say,
anatomy
more complex. Is a little bit more complex. Number one, for a woman to be pleased, she got to be into you, or she has to be motivated by something dealing with you in order for her to reach that level, number one.
Exactly.
Number two, you have to understand the anatomy of a woman. I'm not saying go out and get the thickest book in the world and all this stuff. Be like, I got to look up the woman's anatomy. I'm looking on the P. Why? Cause that's pussy. No, you don't have to do all of that. But however, there are certain things you have to know about a woman's, we'll say, sexual anatomy in order to bring her to sexual ecstasy. The reason why it's been felt to be a myth for female ejaculation is because ain't a whole bunch of men, brothers of all type, that brought a woman to that level in the first place. Number one. You know, and I know it's some dude sitting there, I say, oh, the pipe, I get all the ass. Yeah. No, dude, you know, it's just something, you just getting some attention right now because you probably ain't got shit else to do. However, if she's sitting there, oh, daddy, yes, this, blah, 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 you ain't doing that. Because she talking too much.
No,
if she answering the phone while y'all doing it, you ain't doing that.
She looking at the clock.
Yeah.
You ain't doing much.
Well, I got to leave in 15 minutes to get my hair done. Nah, you ain't doing that. You know?
So basically, you know, how I came across the whole thing with female ejaculation.
Squirt master.
Hey, now.
Squirt master.
Came about this, you know, me and my wife, we were looking at some videos, and she was like, that's...
Tell them what type of videos.
We were looking at...
Let's not be afraid. Oh. This is grown folks talk.
We were looking at the Elegant Angle brand, which they promote a lot of.
Hey, can we say that on here? They were looking at porn. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, hey, we doing a plug for them anyway.
I mean, I don't want YouTube deleting this video because we said something. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but they, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were looking at that and everything, and we were looking at this one particular sister, and she was like, wow, I want to do that.
What sister?
Which sister?
Yeah.
Okay. Cytheria. We were looking at her.
Oh, her. Yeah.
But it was back in the, like, 19...
Yes, people, my metaphysically inclined ass has observed porn. There's reasons why. Keep going.
So we were watching her, and she was like, well, yeah, I want to know if I can do that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, at the time, not really knowledgeable of the whole situation. I'm like, well, damn, the only videos I see like this are of white women doing this.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that later on too, but keep going.
Yeah, so we had a little separation period, and when we got back together, there was some things different about us. So you know, she was like, well, let's get back to what we were doing. Except for this time was a little different, because sister was able to do that. I said, damn, this is a little too damn good.